So building a systems culture, how do you build a systems-driven company? And if you ask yourself, what would need to be true if you were going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are a systems-driven business? Imagine that you are in a court of law and your business is on trial and you need to prove that you have a systems-driven business. Based on the work that you've done thus far, what evidence do you have that your business is a systems-driven business? So this is the bit where we unmute or we type into the chat, what evidence do you have in your business that you have a systems-driven business? Does anybody want to give me some ideas? Tequila, what do you reckon? What makes you feel like you can unmute yourself?
You saw me typing. Everyone knows what to do and when to do it and how to do it. These things are documented, it's in practice. So there's no ambiguity on how to execute tasks.
Yeah, perfect. Anyone else? Cindy, what do you think? What evidence do you have in your business that you have a systems-driven business?
I'm of two minds because I'm currently employed and I'm in the process of moving and creating my own thing. So in my own consulting space, no evidence at the moment because it's such early stage. With my employer, there's documentation, but it's not followed.
I actually think you have some evidence no matter what level you're at because you're attending this training. That is
Okay,
some
fair
level of
enough. Thank
evidence.
you.
If you were in a court of law, you could say, I attended some training on systemization. So you've got some level of evidence. All right. How about you, Trina? What evidence could you provide in this systemization court of law?
The fact that I have team,
Yep.
you've got a data trace of actual in chat and integration and conversations and the
Yes.
development of doing systems. There's proof.
Perfect. Yes, I think that's good. Let's take one more. Kyle, what do you think what is some evidence that you have a systems-driven business?
We have existing SOPs already in place, even though they're not video driven and they're written from all different people, but there is a pseudo database that has existing SOPs. So a new employee could follow steps on how to do certain steps.
Perfect. There is some level of evidence in everyone's business that you are a systems-driven business. There's two types of evidence here that I want you to think about. Firstly is your own personal evidence. Like, what is the evidence to you personally that you have a systems-driven business? And then also I want you to think about what is the evidence to your team? What does the team see? Because you might be more aware of some of the evidence than they are because you can see it, whereas your team can't. We want to make sure that we make that evidence as visible as possible for everybody. The aim of the game for Integrate and much of the work that a systems champion does is to continue to build that evidence. My next question is, let's talk about additional evidence over and above. Now, you're going to get tons of ideas going through this program. You're going to have ideas. You're going to chat with team members. They're going to have ideas. Systems champions going to have ideas. And a lot of these things might still be on the to-do list. So my next question is, what for you, front and center right now, do you have on your to-do list for building further evidence? Brendan, what's an activity that you're working on right now with this idea of that will move you closer to becoming a systems-driven company?
So I'm actively communicating the ideas from systemology and the importance of systems and just making sure that my teams understand why this is so important so that we can spread that knowledge through the organization.
Yeah, perfect. How about you, Vanessa? What things are you working on at the moment to build evidence?
Yeah, so we've determined what our framework is to document all our processes across the business. So that's the key. And we've got our new systems champion for finance. We're also recruiting another systems champion for operations and maintenance. So now for us, it's really getting in and actually doing the work and making sure all our processes are documented in accordance with our framework that we went through last week.
Perfect. Let's get some typed into the chat also. There were some good ones typed in around the evidence that you have, and I'd love to see some evidence that you're currently working on. So we can see Mattia mentioned the DRTC there. What are some other things that you could do, Michael?
Yeah, we've got a pretty key person in the team that's preparing for maternity leave. So we're working on a plan to make sure that all the systems involved around her role are well documented, and we've trained the team up so everything can be delegated.
Love it. Love it. That's another good example. So we're all working towards that. That's why we're attending Systems Champion certification, to continue to build the evidence. I want you to be thinking in your head, if you needed to prove to you and to the team that you're a systems-driven business, how can you continually stack the evidence? And at what point do you get to the point of this is undeniable proof that we are a systems-driven business? And everybody's going to be different. Some people will require more evidence. Some people will require less evidence. You first need to have enough evidence yourself that you then believe it. And then we also need to make that transferable to your team so that they believe it. Just a heads up, that clip was taken from a session in our Systems Champion certification program, which is the world's first and only program for systems champions to help you build a systems culture and develop an AI-first approach and roll it out inside your organization. To find out more, head over to systemology.com/systems champ, and I'll see you in there.